Hello, everyone. Welcome, welcome, and happy Litmus Live. Welcome to the first email optimization session. I know you're all looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to it. Karen, you're looking forward to it.
I am so looking forward to it.
Awesome. So want to really quickly give a quick introduction. You guys see our lovely photos on the side there and our titles. I'm Angie Wyman. I'm Product Marketing Manager here at Litmus.
I'm Karen Slater. I'm the Manager of Lifecycle Email Marketing.
And this is my first time doing a live email optimization session with Karen. I know you have a few under your belt. I've always loved these sessions whenever we attended them. So I am so looking forward to this. Is this your third, fourth? I don't know.
Fun fact, the very first webinar I ever did after I started at Litmus was a live email optimization, and I was so freaked out. So I've done 2 of them as webinars, and then 3 of them, I think 3 of them at Litmus Lives. So many emails.
Well, speaking of so many emails, we got so many great submissions from a lot of folks out there. So thank you so much for all of the great emails that you guys sent in. We can't pick them all, right? We wish we could. We actually, Karen and I had a tough time really narrowing it down to the handful that we have today. Good news, we'll have another handful on Thursday. So be sure to join that session as well. I hear there will be costumes involved. I won't give anything away just yet, but definitely stay tuned for that. Awesome. Okay, so let's go ahead and get started.
One of the reasons I like this email is because it's financial, and I've worked in a highly regulated industry, and I know financial is highly regulated. So any suggestions we give are with no regard whatsoever. So if we give you something and you're like, no, well, we can't do that, then just disregard it. We understand. So we'll give you like best case scenarios, and then you might always have to scale back based on even if you're not in a regulated industry, if like your ESP won't let you do it, or you have a different kind of something that will not allow you to actually go forward with it. But we're going from a best case scenario, this is what you could do.
Yeah.
One of the things I loved about this email specifically was those reports and those graphs in the reports, which you can't really see at all, but they're very colorful. And I liked that part. Is what drew my eye. And then I got really mad because I couldn't see them. So I feel like almost if you could pull that, like nobody can read that report the way it is. So if you could pull those graphs, which upon reading the report and looking at it, they're graphs of how many people are in those different portfolios. So there's like an aggressive and a conservative portfolio. So they kind of don't make sense just as images, but it's also just as images. It kind of does get you like, oh, wait, maybe I want to click and find out more. So making those slightly more colorful and engaging photos. If you can't do that, maybe have a cover of the report that's there. We do that with our reports a lot, but putting that first page of the report where you can't read anything really is not engaging at all.
Yeah, I had trouble.
That was the first thing that I noticed.
Yeah, I didn't know which one was, I obviously there's the title here, but then at first I was like, are these the exact same report? I can't really, and they may have similar information. That's great. But really trying to figure out the difference between the two, and just with a glance, I think that would be helpful.
Yep. I did like that survey section. I feel it's great to get your feedback. It's a great thing to put in that helps create a two-way conversation with your email. Mm-hmm. So often emails, we just send them out and we don't ask for feedback. So that's great. One of the ways you could also help increase that, because clicking this, take the survey, and then moving on, a lot of the survey software lets you put that first question of your survey actually in your email. They'll give you links for the answers if you use like a multiple choice answer. So you can put that first question in. Just make sure that first question is very engaging, not just a yes or no question, but like something that people would want to engage in. And then you can put that question in the email. And that way, even if they don't take the rest of the survey, you've still got those answers from the email based on that click. So you get a little bit more information by putting the first question in the email.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's a great point. They did let us know. We got, some feedback about what the purpose of this email and some of the goals around it. And they did let us know that this section here is a dynamic content block, so that they can pull in the rep that specifically handles this subscriber, right? So I think that's really important to really personalize things. We'll get into more personalization things on Thursday, but that's a great call out to see already. That's very engaging to see her photo and how to get a hold of her.
Yep. Yep. I don't think this one was dark mode optimized,
Mm,
which I think is okay.
mm,
I think we just released a blog post that was kind of getting into dark mode. And one of the things we talked about in that blog post was even if you don't optimize it for dark mode, like just turning the fact that you have dark mode, like recognizing that people read their emails in dark mode. Um, Make sure your images work in light mode and dark mode, and then turning it on so that dark mode happens. Because even if you don't turn it on, all right, if you turn it on, there's a certain code that you put at the top of your emails. That's what's going to trigger Apple Mail to see it. So that's your Apple Mail and all your iOSs. That way, your Apple Mail and your iOSs don't get that bright screen. And then you can see it's showing up in dark mode in some clients because those clients automatically do dark mode. So you
mhm.
can't control those. And the best thing you can do is optimize your images. These ones are, because they're all built on that white background, so they look pretty good. I think some of the emails coming up are a little bit, it'll showcase kind of what happens if you don't optimize those images and how they
Right.
look. Oh, actually, Angie, can you click on one of those dark mode ones?
Sure.
Because I think the survey email is actually, this image in the survey might be a really decent example. Yeah, that
Yeah.
image in the survey gets lost. So just adding a line or a small background around it that looks nice would help make this email as optimized as you can for dark mode without actually touching too much dark mode coding. So it's,
Mhm.
yeah.
Yep, good call. Yeah, because otherwise, it's, yeah, you're right. Everything else looks, pretty good because it's built on that white background. So awesome. Okay. Anything else on this one, Karen, that we wanted to call out?
Um, I can't rightly remember what the
Yep.
alt tags. Oh no, the alt tag. I think the alt tags either didn't exist or they were pretty okay for this one. There's
Okay.
one that's coming up that I looked at the alt tags and I was like, okay, like there was an effort. We'll get to it.
Okay. Sounds good. Okay. All right. Well, then, thank you, Midland National Group, if you're on or watching. Appreciate you submitting that, being vulnerable, and taking our suggestions, of course. I think next we're going to look at some cats. Right, Karen?
Yes.
Awesome. Okay, let's look at some cat. Oh, well, I'm already in the Q&A for the cats. So, all right. So we have the submission from the Brown County Humane Society of Indiana. Really thought we definitely wanted to show anything that had animals. So thank you for sharing this one. But I think one of the first things we know of that from the submission and the goal of this email is to increase the click-through rate. They're looking to increase this about double, going from about 2% to 4% would be their goal for this. And then the highlights for this email really are to let their subscribers know what's going on in the community, and then make an ask for donations or things that the shelter might need. So I think the first thing that we really took a look at was, okay, we want to increase the click-through rate, the engagement rate here. And it took a while to scroll through this email to get to my first call to action, right? And it is this nice hyperlink text, which is great. This is the first thing that catches my eye to click. So I think the first thing I would probably recommend, this is a great article, and it has these fantastic photos with the names of these cats, Archie and Markle. These are all fantastic. Lilibet, I need her right now. We could make this a blog post potentially, because I did check their website and it does have a blog feature. So this could be a blog post, and having these photos point to that blog post. So you really do get like, hey, I need to read more about Lilibet right now and see what's going on, might really help bolster that click-through rate, that engagement right off the bat.
Yeah, I think if you've got an email like this and you want to put a blog post in this, we have a level up personalization series that we just released, and it's an education series, and so the emails aren't quite long and everything is in the email, which is fine. But then you need to realize that the KPI for that email is not a click; it's a read rate. You need to look at how long people are reading it. So if you're going to have an email that's this long, then you shouldn't be looking at click-through rates. You've
Mhm,
given everyone everything they need right in this email.
mhm,
And even at the end, I think the click through at the end was like learn more, right? Yeah,
mhm,
it's learn more. And I just learned a whole bunch. So I don't know if I necessarily need to learn more or not. I think it might have been better to have the blog post and then maybe put each cat with their name and like some facts about them, and then a click to adopt button, like 1, 2, 3 at the end of it. That might have been more engaging, and it might have gotten more clicks because people would have been like, oh great, I want to adopt this cat. And it's much more actionable than just learn more.
Yeah.
So I think that would be great. Or like Angie said, if you want to put this in a blog post and shorten this article, then you have a short article and then 3 click to adopts. That would be good. I think the other one is if you scroll down.
Yes,
It's even hard.
A long email.
I was going to say, it's even hard to see where the clicks are. So the orange is nice. There's no hover effect to indicate that that's a thing. You get the little clicker mouse thing, but not everybody gets that. So putting an actual CTA and CTA button in there instead of just clicking the links, that would help. I wonder too, with this wish list, if you could have, because I am a go out and buy something and donate person, but some people are just to donate money things. So you could even do something with this wish list where it's like, click here to donate, what are those things? Purina kitten chow. And you click that button and it takes you to donate that exact amount of money. Click here to donate wet dog food. And then you click there and you can donate that amount of money that would cover that, so that people can take action quicker instead of having to be like, oh, I have to go to the store and I have to buy Purina cat food and then I have to take it to you. I 100% would do that, but I know not everybody does. Also, when you get in a busy schedule in your day, you're like, I need to do this, and then it gets pushed to the back and pushed to the back. So having that donate money instead of donating the items might help too.
Right. And I would be curious too, looking, like you said, Karen, about read rate. This newsletter obviously has tons of great information, things that they're doing in the community, things that were successful, to highlight. I'm wondering if the read rate, having this needs, the thing that's actually like the most actionable thing that somebody could do right now, up a little bit higher. But I do still feel like a lot of the information in here, especially here at the bottom where we have who is the featured adoptable pet, right? If you have, really made this an expectation for your subscriber that the featured adoptable pet is going to be at the very bottom of the email, that's going to totally help make sure that you're, getting eyes on all of your great content, that there's nothing wrong with that if they're getting that read through. And then being able to follow, end the whole thing with something like Steal here. I think that's very smart.
Yeah. We did get a question in the QA, a question about how many people are using dark mode these days. I don't know. I know what our audience is. We have about 30 to 40% dark mode users. The best way for you to find out what your audience is, using a tracking pixel. Yes, we don't necessarily get the open rates correct because of MPP, but MPP does not tell you about dark mode or not. We have in the Litmus pixel, we do have a way for you to tell how much of your audience is dark mode. So I don't know if it's increasing. I think it's probably, I really don't know. I haven't been keeping track of like historically where it is versus where it is now. But yeah.
I think once people make their preference, right, that they pretty much stick with it. I don't know that there's a ton of going back and forth. If they like everything in dark, then that's where they're going to stay. But yeah, that's interesting. I probably is pretty steady at this moment. I would guess too.
Angie, Ethan asked if the length of the email is causing Gmail to cut it off. If you want to check Gmail, I am 90% sure it's not. Because it's not how long an email, it's how heavy the email code is. And the email code for this isn't going to be that heavy at all. It's all images.
Yeah. Should I check let's do the Gmail app? No.
That'd work. Yeah. So either Gmail app, if it gets cut off in Gmail, it'll be cut off in the app too. It's nicely mobile optimized.
It is.
I feel like it almost looks better on mobile than it does on desktop. Without having to have all the back and forth and having the images. You could even make this a one-column email.
Yeah, these are all, get left aligned, and that's super nice to see. Yeah, this is very nice for mobile. I mean, especially if this is very much like an article I'm gonna sit here and read and super engage with this email. So yeah.
But yeah, it doesn't look like it's getting cut off. So that's as I think Jana mentioned in the last session too, it's your Gmail cutoff is not how long your email is. I've made some pharmaceutical emails that are freaking huge and have a ton of little teeny tiny print. and they
Right.
don't get cut off in Gmail. And it's all about how big your code is.
Hmm.
Um,
Right. Awesome. The only other thing I was going to say about this one is I love this the header banner here. The only thing I would maybe recommend is pulling out these because at first I thought these might be clickable, but pulling these out to be kind of like a subheader click through, especially if you're working through engagement click through rate, having these be individual CTAs right underneath your header banner, so that I can go straight to news and updates on your website or videos on your website or adoptable pets, and taking those straight there. I think that could help as well.
I think that's a decent test too to find out if anybody clicks on them. You need them. Also, could you link them internally, like anchor links throughout the email? Because they have a video section and an adopt section. So if you want to, you can do a lot more with them. If you pull them out of that image, you can link them to a web page. You can link them to the email. You can see if there's any interaction on them whatsoever, and maybe just get rid of them.
Yep. Yep. All right.
Oh, this is a great question. How should we think about balancing read rate versus click-through rate if the newsletter's objective is primarily informing? That is an excellent question. And I think that you would actually have to test it, like almost figure out, like run a test with your email where you've got one newsletter that's really long and one that's like short and has click-through to blogs. Your one with the click-throughs to the blog is obviously going to have more click-throughs, but at that point you look at the read rate and see if people are leaving and then reading the blog, or if they're just clicking and then jumping right from the blog. Versus, does your read rate for your regular email increase when you make it longer? If your read rate when you make it longer without this is the same as your email with the CTAs, then you probably should stick with the CTA button.
Yep.
I want your read rate to be longer when you write a blog post in your email.
Yes. Good point. All right. I'd love to look at kittens all day. Do we have anything else on this one? No.
All right now.
No. Yeah. Keep up the good work, Brown County Humane Society. We appreciate you. All right.
Cats.
I know, right? All right. So the next one we're going to be talking about is from Fleet Pride. This is a logistics, transportation, commerce site, right? So this email we found from the folks who submitted it. This is really welcoming new account users. They've set up an account on their website, but they haven't purchased anything yet. So this is kind of a welcome email. So Karen, what were your first thoughts on this one?
I really liked the GIF, like right up front. That was really fun. I like the transition between this part, and then when you scroll, there's like the little slash of the tires. That was a fun transition. I do wish when you view this in dark mode, it's not dark mode, but the forced dark mode, it looks kind of weird because it's got the white in there. So you could almost make it a PNG. So that you can see it really shows up and pops off of it. It's right there.
Gotcha.
So this is another, those icons. This is the one I was talking about. Those icons, you can make those a lot more, like super easy to make those a little bit more friendly for dark mode. Instead of having them be the whole width, just make them a little square around the icon, and then it would just be a lot cleaner instead of having it take up the whole width like that. That's a lot of white that doesn't need to be there necessarily.
Right. One of the things that I liked, this email had kind of, the goal of this email is to get, the new account users to start shopping, right? And I think one of the things that so they want to increase, the engagement, of course, and conversions, because they want, the shopping to begin, right? When we first open up this email, I kind of feel like there's like 3 CTAs here. I could find a branch, I could access my account. I could start shopping. I feel like it's kind of I feel like this could be a potential, great opportunity for a welcome series, especially if you have a lot of great information to give your new subscribers or your new account holders. With this first one being really that welcome, the engaging welcome, and maybe some these benefits that you're going to get with Fleet Pride. Here's all the things that you just signed up for. Maybe you didn't even know you're going to get. And so now you can hold on to this email and access it from this email if you want to, bookmark it or hang on to it. And then the next, email in that series, where really quick follow-up could be, okay, and now here are our most popular parts that are selling right now. and go ahead and start shopping, right, all of our parts that we have. So I feel like that could be a great opportunity to kind of build that, that relationship, right? Like Ann was talking about this morning, like build the relationship, show that, you care, and here are the things that you're going to get as a subscriber, and then follow that with and here's what's popular and what you might need. So that could be a good opportunity here.
I think it also depends on, like, I don't know what their flow is too. Like, are
Mhm.
people creating the account as they buy something? Like, I bought something, so I had to create an account, in which case
Mhm.
they just bought something. Why are you sending them more things to buy? I mean, I want them to buy things right away too, but that
Yeah.
just not necessarily. Usually when I buy something, I'm like, oh no, I'm done.
Mhm.
So you need to think about where they're coming from. If they're creating an account because they signed up for an email, then that's great. And maybe you can show them the shopping stuff right away. But I do think that you're gonna suffer with the number of things to do here. There's a lot of choices, and you're kind of throwing a lot at people.
Mhm.
Um,
Yep.
this
Yep.
was a another one that image. This is the one I was talking about too. The images in the shopping area, the alt text for the images is the exact same as the name of the item, and that's not. If you're if you're listening to a screen reader, it's going to say OTR group size 3 at 1S twice. It's going to say it, and then for the alt text, it's going to say it again for that. So if you're gonna put alt text, you can either leave the alt text off for the image and put an aria hidden true so that people know, like, doesn't matter. Or if there's something else you want to say about the image, like explain the image, like this is a, I don't know what this, oh, it's a battery. So it's like an image of an OTR battery. It's black. It has a white, gray bar across it. It's a little bit more descriptive instead of just saying what it is twice.
Yeah. Yep. I like the descriptive piece of it. Like, this is the one that has the silver bar. This is, because when I'm going shopping for something like this, I'm like, oh, I know the one in my car has got a red bar, whatever it is, right? Like knowing that really descriptive thing that you might not think about, but somebody who is looking for that visual cue, that would be really helpful. So I like that.
We have a question that says, is there some way to tell what color will be forced in dark mode? And I think, um, no, yes, no. It depends. The best phrase in email. The best way to figure out what a color is going to be in forced email. We created at Litmus an email in Litmus, and it's just our colors, our brand colors, and then we ran it through Litmus, and then you can go and looked at the forced email, and I think we saved it as a screenshot and pulled all of those colors. So in Figma, we have the color codes for the forced one, so people know what to look for. So that's it. It's a little email that lives in our Litmus, and whenever somebody asks what the brand colors look like in forced, we can go and take a look at it. I think that's the best way to do it. It's just to
Mhm.
give yourself a little reference file so that you can see what it looks like.
That's smart. I like that. All right. Anything else, Karen, on
Yeah,
Fleet Pride? We do have a few minutes. We might be able to wrap up with one more.
we might. There's one question that says, any thoughts on linking non-button images like the header banner and well, they're talking about the Humane Society email, but cat images, or in this case, the buttons or the icons maybe.
Right.
I I'm okay with linking them. I know one of the big pushes for a lot of people is, so the case is, if you don't link the images yourself, Gmail's going to link it, right? It's automatically linking it, so you click on it and the image opens really big. So it really depends on what kind of experience you want for your subscribers. If you really have no place to link that image to that relates to what they were reading, don't link it. I mean, yes, it sucks that Gmail's going to open it, but maybe they want it that way. Maybe they're used to that experience and they wanted to look at the image bigger. You don't. I have really bad eyes. That image that you made is very small. I want to see it bigger. So let people have that experience.
Mhm.
If you have the Humane Society and you've got cats and you want people to adopt those cats, yes, link that image to that cat so people can adopt them. It really depends on if you have something that's specific and an expected behavior to happen. You want to lead into those expected behaviors.
Love that.
We also have a couple questions about read rate measuring in here. I don't know of any ESP that measures read rate that I've used before. So there might be some of them out there. Don't hold it against me if there is.
I
But I
haven't.
do
Yeah.
know that as I say, the Litmus pixel does let you measure read rate, and it gives you a skimmed, read, and glanced. So it kind of gives you an idea of how long somebody has had that email open.
Got it.
I don't think there was anything else for this one.
Yeah, and are we have about a minute left, is that right? Yeah.
Let's do one more.
We can do one more. Let's do it. We did like this one because it was really kind of to the point, and we had some really like to the point things to say about it, right? So this one's from Enshift, announcing a new partnership with Laithwaite's Wines, and so they wanted to send this out to their prospects and customers to let them know about this new success story.
Yeah, I think there's 2 things that I had to say about this email. 3. I really liked it. It's very pretty email.
Yeah.
It gets straight to the point. I don't feel like I'm wondering what's going on. The one question I had, and because I'm not a subscriber and it was just sent to me for this, I was like, wait, is this for Enshift or Laithwaite's? So making it very clear that this is from Enshift and it's a case study about Laithwaite's would be really good. And then 2, that CTA says book a call here, but the point of the email is to share the case study. So the CTA should really be the line above it. Find out, read the whole case study. Read the case study here. Find out how we can help. That should be the CTA. And then book a call comes after it. And it should be, so those 2 should just be reversed. That was my biggest thing with it. Yeah,
because again, what is the expectation? What is the user experience? They want to learn about this, and the very first, their eye obviously goes to the button, right? So it should take them to the case study. So I totally agree with that. I love this header image. The only issue I had with it says Enshift 3 times and it says Laithwaite's twice. So it could be really more impactful if we condense this to the headline with a, maybe the two logos in conjunction with each other or something. But that was really the only, I really do enjoy this email. It's to the point. It shows me exactly what I need to know.
Yep. Yeah.
Yep. This is great.
It's so pretty too. I really like the colors.
Oh, I do too. This color palette is totally me. And it's a kind of a nice preview for Thursday for maybe my costume. We'll see. So no sneak peeks or anything, but yeah. So that is what we have time for today. We'll have more on Thursday. So I wanted to thank everybody again for attending our session, and look forward to seeing more on Thursday and on Halloween. So we'll see you all there. Thank you.
Bye, everybody. Thank you.